my God, we made it. We made it. We made it. 99 days of zero baseball. And now it's opening week. This is like the people that celebrate their birthdays for the entirety of the month, right? Like, oh, my birthday isn't until February 25th, but February 1st, I better either get a gift or like a small cupcake with more to come. This is the Monday episode of the Just Baseball Show. Opening days on Thursday, and we're so excited. Oh my God. Peter, the floor is yours, man. Just give us this optimism that Aram and I need to suck up.
Just about baseball or about the fact that we're not gambling on the American League Cy Young, the NL Cy Young, the MVPs, the Rookie of the Years, all of the win leaders, and I'm wearing my not gambling advice. If you're not fired up already, then I don't know what to tell you, because last year we were dynamite. For our overall, I went back and looked at how we did at picking over-under win totals, 19-11, boys, on all 30 teams.
That's a great hard cider up in Central New York, 19-11.
We did an incredible bang up job. I'm not worried about your apple juice reference right now. I'm still talking ball.
Yeah.
MVP Cy Young. I was dark horse Corbin Burns. Jack nailed Jonathan India for Rookie of the Year. Aram.
I didn't do shit. I think I sucked. I just went headfirst into it with zero prep and was just opening the odds and going like, Montoya, manager of the year. I think that was my best almost pick. So much more equipped this year. Yeah, I'm really excited for Rookie of the Year because we've been talking about how you can like eliminate so many guys that might not get an opportunity, guys that may not hit the ground running. So I've some picks to try to catch up to you guys on those hot takes you had that worked out well last year. And then all of the other awards are so much fun. So much young upcoming talent. Is this the year some of these guys break through? Do some of the older guys, still kind of keep their stronghold on their dominance in the game? I think there's a lot of different things to talk about.
And also, I did just sort of bag on you for the picks, but you have been money on the cards. And that's why I'm so excited to talk Rookie of the Year, especially because every single card you pick a couple weeks later then goes up in value thanks to our friends at eBay as well. So you're on it. You're on it. Last year, you throw that to the side, but you were with us on the over-under win total. So you do have that in your bag.
I'm riding Aram on the Rookie of the Year thing, though, because like we talked about last week, I think Aram, you and I were talking about this. This is the most loaded rookie class in recent memory by a very, very wide margin.
Yeah. And I wish we could have got bets in a little bit earlier. If you remember, I was talking Jeremy Pena a while back. Like, I think that guy's going to start. He wasn't even offered on the odds. I don't even think Vegas knew who Jeremy Pena was at that point. And now he still is a long shot. We're going to talk about that a little bit, but his odds have definitely gotten shorter and shorter. But yeah, that's my forte. I'm glad I was able to prepare a little bit more this time. And I'm excited to see your guys' picks because we haven't talked that much about it. So I think we're all going to be a little bit surprised by whoever comes out with some of their hot takes. So we don't really know what to expect.
That's my favorite part is when we don't talk about who we think is going to win and then we have genuine reactions to the picks afterwards. That's my favorite part of this, actually.
Yeah. Just before we get into that content schedule for this week with opening day on Thursday, on the call up, which you can go listen to right now, we've got notable assignments for top prospects. So who broke camp with the opening day roster? Who's in AAA? Who's a shock to be in AAA? Who's in AA? Who's in high A? Who's in low A? All that type of stuff. So Aram and I go through that. Tomorrow, we're going to grade all the offseason of the American League. That's going to be kind of like rapid fire, but we're also going to give you our thoughts on the win totals, whether we go over or under. And we've got all those win totals ready. Wednesday, we do the NL win totals. We go over or under. Opening day preview on Thursday. What you're going to watch on the mound. Usually you get the best pitchers. And for Minnesota, you get Joe Ryan, who still might be the best pitcher. And then on Friday, we're going to do an opening day recap too. So we mapped out this week because it's Christmas like 5 times over. But Peter, this is your Christmas. Today is your Christmas.
Smiling from ear to ear. This is my favorite thing to do. I already wrote an article with my 5 picks for over under win totals, which you can find on justbaseball.com. I'm coming out with my best picks for the AL MVP, all the different awards. And then, of course, you can find me on TikTok making 3 picks a day. And you'll also find the written article as well on justbaseball.com. Last year, we were up 15.67 units, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, if we go fractions, that's 15 2/3.
15 2/3, and over a full season, betting 1 unit a day, 3 picks a day, and we were positive and we had fun doing it. Come on now, but will we do it again this year? I'm positive, but not, it's not good to say you're going to win before, because betting is very hard. And that should
what's
be
that thing about hot takes? They might happen, right?
They might happen. And I think it's also good to say before we get into this, like, do not put units and units on this. Like, a unit is a percentage of your bankroll. Like, don't put $5 billion on these picks. These are something that I'm putting personally like 0.5 units on, and then 0.1 units on our deep cuts. Like, these are not big old bets that we're throwing the house on, because these are value plays at the end of the day, and it's really hard to project these types of things.
I put $0.00 on this shit, man. I work in
I bet on
baseball. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, Jack's not allowed to, which is the funniest part. So all he can say is literally, I would recommend if I were doing this.
I saw this number and I greatly enjoy looking at this number.
You liked it.
Yeah, and honestly, the last thing I'll say before we jump into it, I mean, Peter's 100% right. I mean, these odds can get really tempting. And the second I saw Matt Brash, for example, or some of these other guys that we'll get into at 45-1, I'm like, oh my gosh, I could put $15 on it, make a lot of money. But whoa, what if I put 30? What if I put 40? Like, I have that voice in the back of my head, like we all do. It's human nature. But just sprinkle a few bucks, expect to lose every prop bet, because you should, because that's the way you should go into it. And it'll just make the season more fun. You won't be stressed out about losing 5 different $10 bets, but if they hit, you'll be very happy. So make it fun. That's why we do it. That's how we do it. And I'm excited to get into it.
You guys literally just gave gambling advice when the precursor is not gambling advice.
No, it's not gambling advice.
If you were to gamble,
okay,
that's what gamble. This is what it would look
like. ...
Just and another perfect example of what Aram was saying. Like, we bet Vladimir Guerrero Jr. to lead the entire league in home runs last year. It was an amazing bet. It was his rookie year, and he hit 48 home runs, but it didn't even win. It pushed because Salvador Perez also hit 48 home runs. Just goes to show that anything can happen.
Absolutely. Let's start with the MVPs. We'll go MVP, AL, then NL, then AL Cy Young, NL Cy Young, AL Rookie of the Year, NL Rookie of the Year. And then we'll go home run leader overall, strikeout leader overall, and then stolen base leader overall to wrap. AL MVP, Aram, who do you like near the top of the list? Shohei Ohtani is the odds-on favorite at plus 400, Vladdy at plus 450, Mike Trout at plus 450, and then everybody else plummets off. Next highest is Aaron Judge at plus 1,800.
Yeah, so do I have to give one at the top and one long shot? Because I look at the top and I'm like, Ohtani, that's the obvious pick.
Give me your best pick. Best pick and your best value pick.
2 of your best picks.
I'm going to take, this is the year I'm going to try it. And these are the 2 guys I like. Kyle Tucker, to me, is that safe guy that's going to be in the consideration. Almost for sure, he's going to be a top 10 guy. I think if things go really well, he'll be a top 5 guy in terms of that MVP race. I really think he will be. When you talk about contact and power combination, if you put all the parameters that you need to put around, there will be sections of statistics where the only 3 names you see are Vladdy, Soto, and Kyle Tucker. So he's in an elite group there. Then I have to. I think everyone's going to do it. It's going to be a popular bet, but you got to sprinkle Byron Buxton. Because when Byron Buxton's healthy, he is an MVP. We know that. Like, he can be an MVP. And at plus 3,500, I look at it like I'm betting plus 3,500 that he's going to be healthy. That's about the fair odds, and I'm going to take that chance. Those are my 2 guys.
I'm in on Buxton. I am 150% in on Buxton. He was the guy that I circled 4 times because you're right. If he plays a full year, he's top 5 in MVP voting at the very least, because he has 30-30 potential on any given day. It's ridiculous what Buxton does. So I like Buxton at 3,500. I also really like Luis Robert at plus 2,000.
Yeah.
He's not far from the top of the list. You've got Judge at 1,800, Wander Franco at 1,800, and Luis Robert at plus 2,000. Same deal. If Luis Robert's healthy for a full 162, he's 30-30 potential, and he's already got a Gold Glove.
I think that's well said. My only thing about Byron Buxton and Luis Robert is just their odds are pretty solid for who they are, but when you consider just the injury history, like, I just wish they were a little bit better. Like, for example, Luis Robert is 6th in odds right now. Like, he's not a dark horse candidate anymore, even though it still kind of seems like it. But Buxton, Robert, you can't really go wrong. Any amount of money on them is good money because they each have a shot to win it. So I'll start with my value picks first. Kyle Tucker, because Aram already said it. I'm on Kyle Tucker plus 3,000. I also really like the odds on George Springer at plus 5,000 too. I know like that it's more of a deep cut, but when we have a healthy George Springer, like he could lead the entire league in WAR. That's the type of player he is. He's an elite defensive center fielder, and the bat, the stolen bases, the RBIs in the Blue Jays offense. Blue Jays are going to be really good too. Plus 5,000, I'm considering sprinkling on these. My best pick is actually my least favorite out of all of our bets that we'll have to go into. And that's Aaron Judge at plus 1,800. And you say that and you say, oh, Yankee fan. It's not a Yankee thing. For these type of bets, I'm never putting in my Yankee bias. I think that's ridiculous, even though I do have another Yankee as one of my awards. That's not, I know I just said two things that cancel each other out, but seriously, this is not a Yankee bias thing. I look at Shohei Ohtani. Plus 400, there's no precedent for what he's done. There just isn't. So to bet on the lowest odds for a guy with there's no precedent in doing so, he easily could. I'm not saying that he couldn't, but I'm just backing off a little bit. Mike Trout, the injury concerns, they're well documented. Plus 450, not as great. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he'd probably be my second favorite pick, honestly, because he, of course, has the talent to do it and in Toronto with a good team. But I expect his numbers to regress slightly, just slightly. And I don't really have a good way to tell you Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is not going to win it. I just personally don't love plus 450 when you're compared to Trout and Ohtani. But then Aaron Judge is the fourth best, and the odds take a huge step back. Aaron Judge is in a contract year. Aaron Judge has all the capabilities to be an MVP. Aaron Judge plays in New York, where the media narrative may favor him a little bit as well as these contract talks happen. My thinking is, in his walk year, he has his best year to date. He looks healthy in spring training. He looks lean. He looks powerful. And I've always felt that the speed and defense in Aaron Judge's game has always been underrated. I think he's a top 10 overall player in the game. And I think this is the year, if he doesn't sign that extension with the Yankees, he's going to play mad and he's going to play that he wants that money. And I think at plus 1,800, because that odds jump is so enormous, I still think there's good value there. But it's my least favorite because if the Yankees then sign him in the next couple of days, I could be like, oh, well, maybe that narrative doesn't make as much sense anymore. So I might back off. So it's a very small bet. I actually like Tucker and Springer as value picks a little bit more, but that is my best bet, I guess, to win it.
One thing I want to add on Tucker, I don't know if people realize he was an MVP in the second half. Like he straight up was an MVP in the second half. 327, 398, 631 slash line. It's a 177 WRC plus, guys. I mean, that is MVP. And we're not talking about 2 months. We're talking about the entire second half. If he can keep that rolling, I mean, that's a guy that's going to be a finalist. So I love the 30-1 on Tuck.
One follow-up about like Springer and Vladdy. Like what I like about the Judge thought is Judge will not necessarily be diluted by anybody else. You know, you see it in other sports more, like you see it when Steph and KD are on the same Warriors team. Like, how could one of them win MVP when the other is a top 5 player in the world as well? Like, I guess I'm kind of worried about that with Ohtani and Trout and then Vladdy and Springer. Like, does one of them take away votes from the other? But I don't know. If one of them has a down year, then the other is, you know, so much more important. That's why I like Judge, I think, because there's nobody to take votes away from him. You could make the argument for Stanton, but like, I think that vote's kind of gone.
The defense, DH, he's not going to do enough to be an all-around player. You're going to look at the WAR totals at the end, and he could have an amazing offensive season, but it's just overall Judge is more likely going to be a much more impactful player. It's still my least confident. American League MVP award is tough this year. Would you guys say so as well? Or do you guys have this really good read? Because I don't have a really good read on anybody.
No, that's why I went value like that. Because I mean, I could say J-Ram at 22-1. I mean, anytime you're getting J-Ram at 22-1, that's great odds. That's another one that I think is worth mentioning. But if I'm going to get 30-1 on Tucker, I'm going to take that. I think on the AL side, it's worth going for the longer odds because Ohtani and Trout, as we said, just not worth it at 4-1 and 4.5-1. And then it's a big jump from there after Vladdy also at 4-1, who's a DH and put up one of the best offensive seasons we could see and still didn't win. I know that was because we saw something, as Peter said, unprecedented, but with Ohtani, but it just shows how hard it is for a DH to win the award. And you need guys that can kind of do a little bit of everything, right, Jack?
Yeah. And if we're not looking at odds, like it's Ohtani's to lose, I think we can all agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's pitching and hitting for the whole year and he's still Shohei Ohtani, like you can't not give it to him because he's just doing something that nobody else is doing. So that's the case. And especially if the Angels are winning, if the Angels actually look like they will finish above 500, I don't know how a vote doesn't go to Shohei Ohtani if he replicates or even gets close to replicating. But looking at odds, I mean, there's no point in putting $10 down to win 40 on Shohei Ohtani.
No.
Exactly. That's exactly why Shohei should be the favorite to win the American League MVP, but it is just unprecedented what he's been able to do. And at plus 400, the value is not worth it for me to put any money on him. But that doesn't mean that I don't think Shohei Ohtani could absolutely win the American League MVP. So could Trout and so could Vladdy. The value isn't to my liking when you consider this is a full season award and anything can happen.
Right. Shortest odds on either of the MVP conversations are in the National League right now. Juan Soto plus 280. Next is Acuna at plus 700, Harper at plus 900, Mookie Betts at plus 900, and then you get to 1,200 and beyond. But Juan Soto plus 280 to win the MVP. Yes. Throw the odds away. It is Juan Soto's award to lose because he might have a 550 OBP.
Yeah.
It's just so dumb what this guy's going to do. And you look at the awards voting recently, Soto hasn't won it. It feels like if he puts together an MVP type season, especially with Tatis out, and if Harper doesn't do what he did last year, which the odds are pretty slim that he replicates that, like it is Juan Soto's, but plus 280 are such bad odds. It's ridiculous.
Can I tell you why Juan Soto will not win the MVP?
Yes, I would love to
hit
hear
enough,
this.
right? He's not going to get enough to hit.
First, he's not going to get enough to hit. Think about this Nationals lineup. Nobody was pitching to him last year, and he had a better lineup than he does as currently constructed. Nelson Cruz, I like the addition. Valuable bat, 40 plus years old. Let's see him stay healthy for the entire year. But he's a guy who has stayed healthy for the entire year. But still, that's just not enough protection in the lineup.
Talk about Adrianza. Give it to me.
Yeah, talk about Adrianza. we were even talking with Tucker Davidson. I was talking with him on TikTok Live, and I said, how do you approach this season facing Juan Soto? And he's like, why would you pitch to him? Why would you pitch to him? That is going to be the word in every locker room, in every bullpen. Do not pitch to Juan Soto.
Let somebody else
let him beat us. Walk him. He might have a 500. He might have a 550 OBP. He might set the record for walks. But the power numbers, he has 500 plus home run capabilities over an entire career. But if he doesn't get any fastballs, he doesn't get any pitches hit, how many home runs is he realistically going to hit? This is a Juan Soto who could hit 340 with a 500 OBP and 25 home runs because he just doesn't get enough pitches to hit out of the ballpark. And not only that, when's the last time a MVP came from a definitive last place team? Because the Nationals are going to be a struggle to win 70 games. Let's say they win 68 games. How can you justify an MVP coming from a 68 win Nationals team? You can't really justify it. And at plus 280, I'm throwing that line straight out the window. But that doesn't mean I don't think Juan Soto is the best hitter in the National League. And you could totally make the argument he's the best overall player in baseball. But at plus 280 National League, nope.
All right, I've got a question. Definitive last place team. Were the Miami Marlins definitively in last place in 2017 when Giancarlo won it, or no?
No.
They were in
that team wasn't that bad. That team was bad. It wasn't that bad. Like they were floating around for a while in the wild card and then faded real quickly.
Then I can't tell you the last time because everybody else has been in contention.
And Stanton also hit 59. You know,
yeah.
And the thing is, it's like, so Stanton had the protection a little bit. Like that lineup wasn't bad. You know, you had Ozuna, Yelich, and those other guys, Rio Muto. So he saw more to hit. And that's the problem is I think Soto is going to be phenomenal. But if he hits 28 home runs or 30, it's hard to win an MVP with 30 home runs in today's game.
But really 30 home runs with a 500 OBP.
But the thing is, like, for example, like if Ronald Acuna Jr. puts up a great season for the Braves, Bryce Harper with the Phillies, and Mookie Betts has a great season with the Dodgers, and they're all in playoff contention, like they're just probably going to get the votes over because we're not evaluating who we think will have the best season. We're also looking at how the voters vote, and the voters vote for guys on good teams. Like Bryce Harper won it last year, and the Phillies weren't great, but they were still over 500. Like that's That's just how the voters vote. They vote for players on better teams. You don't have to be a playoff team, but you certainly can't be far in last. And Aram, about the Giancarlo Stanton thing, that was also his first real big season, right? Nobody knew not to absolutely not pitch to Stanton yet. I know he was good before, but nobody expected 59 home runs. With Soto, he's put up back-to-back phenomenal seasons. Now I know I'm not pitching to Juan Soto.
And the thing with Stanton too, like you're saying, is you feel like you could beat him, right? Like you feel like, okay, if I locate this slider, I can beat him. Soto, there's no recipe, bro. There's no way to beat that dude. So that's the other side of it too. Like Stanton can burn you, and he did. But up until that point, like Peter said, he had never hit more than 37 home runs. And also he strikes out 30% of the time. So you're going to go for it. Soto doesn't K. So yeah, I think it just doesn't make sense on the Soto side. But what I will say, short odds, I like Harper still. I really do like Harper this year because plus 900, look, it could be better. It could be a little bit juicier. That lineup is stupid. It's absolutely stupid. But Harper's the guy in that lineup. I don't care how good of a year Castellanos or Schwarber has. If those guys are having good years, Harper will be having a better year than both. And this is a guy that's defending the MVP award, now has one of the most loaded lineups with protection. It's probably the best lineup he's ever been a part of. And I can't wait to see what that looks like. The two plus 900 guys are my guys, him and Mookie Betts. Mookie Betts, I really think is going to bounce back. My concern though, is you talk about the vote stealing, Jack. I think the Dodgers they're going to have 4 guys that finish in the top 10, and they're all going to be stealing votes from each other. So my number one pick in the NL is Harper to repeat because I think he's going to walk, but he's also going to still see plenty to hit. And that's why I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, one of them might be a pitcher that starts stealing MVP votes from him. And I'll get to that shortly. But the two value guys I really like, Mike Moustakas and Charlie Blackmon for sure.
Moustakas is on there. I see him.
I'm kidding. I was just kind of shocked that they were on there. I do like Christian Yelich at plus 2,800. I think if Yelich is healthy, he doesn't have much backup on that lineup. And by the way, like that is borderline best rotation in baseball. So if they're in the playoff conversation, you've got the contender narrative there. You've got Yelich returning to Yelich form. And when he was in peak Yelich form, he was an MVP already. So I think if he's a lone wolf in that lineup and they are playoff contenders and Yelich is back to 290 with 35 bombs and 120 driven in, I think Yelich should be one of the front runners there.
There's literally nothing wrong with what you said, except the value, in my opinion. I don't think plus 2,800, when you consider who's around him, is just better odds. Because if I was looking at Yelich, I would need like plus 4,000 or more, because it is just such a risk with him. But everything you're saying could 100% happen. That's why he's someone to watch. It's just, for me, I didn't see enough value there on the line.
I think Vegas feels the same way as Jack. Basically.
Exactly.
I mean, 28-1 odds. It's long, given that it's Christian Yelich, but I mean, Machado's 35-1, and Machado is going to give you that elite D. He's hitting the ball as hard as he ever has, and he's trying to carry the load now for a really, really interesting Padres team as we talk about some of the moves they're making.
Jack, for example, like plus 2,800 seems like it's like the 80th percentile happening that will happen. If that makes sense. Like, I think it's 80-20 when I'm reading the line. I think they think it's 80-20 that he returns back to MVP form. Like, I don't think it's 80-20. I think it's closer to like 60-40 or 50-50 that he returns back to MVP form.
You think it would be 80-20? I think it would be closer. Like, I think
where
if
he's
they
ranked,
genuinely saw him at 80-20, they'd put him at like Tatis plus 1,800, that area.
Thing is, Tatis at plus 1,800, he's out 3 months already.
Yeah, like stay away from Tatis. He's not winning.
Stay away from Tatis. But regardless, what about my pick?
You like Machado, right?
Machado is my value pick at plus 3,500. Those odds are stupid. Those odds are just stupid. He should be way high or way better than that. He's around Jacob deGrom, out a month and probably won't be back for 8 weeks. He's around Ozzie Albies, and sorry, Ozzie Albies, I think you have almost no shot at winning the NL MVP. Prove me wrong. I would love to be proven wrong if Ozzie Albies just comes out and has an amazing season. He doesn't have a shot. And Manny Machado's odds are worse than him with Fernando Tatis Jr. out 3 months to start the season. He's going to have to shoulder the load on offense. If the Padres are incredible this year, he will get a lot of the praise as well as the big market guy. He's finally coming back, and he was phenomenal last season. All the expected stats point to an even better 2022. But my pick, Aram, Bryce Harper plus 900. Yes. I love the pick. I really do. And the problem was I was going through, and really what kind of screwed me up on not gambling advice when I gave the picks earlier, precedent, I was looking at when's the last time an MVP won twice in a row, and I looked it up. It was Mike Schmidt. But then you look at the MVP odds, and it's like it's happened before. Barry Bonds won it multiple times in a row. So my thinking, I guess I was like, all right, I'm throwing that out the window because that's just my bad. But in terms of the Bryce Harper pick, everything you said is correct. Plus, have you seen him in spring training? He looks leaner. His swing looks short. The toe tap, he's hitting rockets in spring training. He has the best lineup he's ever had. He's going to have probably the best Phillies team he's ever had. Bryce Harper at plus 900. And my original pick on not gambling advice was Ronald Acuna Jr. at plus 700. Still love that pick, but no spring training. And the knee, everything I hear from Anthopoulos, everything I hear from the manager, they're not super confident that he's going to be right away playing. He's going to start at DH and work his way back into the outfield. Like, I'm just a little bit afraid of putting my hard-earned money on Acuna, but I still think he has a great possibility to do it. But Bryce Harper plus 900, give me that arm. We're in.
Hard-earned money, huh?
Hard-earned money.
Yeah, blood, sweat, and tears to get that money that you're just shelling immediately on Acuna.
Because it's going to win. Not Acuna, on Harper.
On Harper. Another guy I want to shout out before we move on to AL Cy Young is Tyler O'Neill at plus 3,000. Like, we've talked about O'Neill having a big breakout season. He might strike out 1 billion times. If he doesn't strike out 1 billion times, then he is one of the strongest and fastest people in the world, and he plays baseball.
He looks like an MVP winner. Like, everyone's giving Luis Robert, Byron Buxton those level of just like, oh yeah, it could easily be an MVP. Like, Tyler O'Neill, in terms of just the numbers and how they describe each tool, he's right up there. He's fast as hell. He's powerful as hell. He's a great defender, and he has a cannon. Like, he has everything they have, maybe a tick less, but he's right there.
Second half for Tyler O'Neill, 296, 368, 573 slash line. It's a 942 OPS and a 153 WRC plus with plus defense. So that's an MVP finalist right there in the second half. And look, he wasn't a bum in the first half either. 135 WRC plus with all the other prerequisites. So he is a guy that I think is in that conversation. The K rates will make it interesting. I think it's rare to see a guy that strikes out 31% of the time win the MVP. But O'Neill can continue to improve upon that. And I mean, his quality of contact is stupid.
Pete, floor is yours for AL Cy Young.
I picked Garrett Cole last year, and he lost to Robbie Ray. And I still stand on the boat that Garrett Cole should have won that Cy Young award. You look at the peripherals, he had a better year, but it's all right. Robbie Ray won it, and I'm happy for Robbie Ray. This year will not be Robbie Ray. This year will not be Shane Bieber. This year will not be anybody else except Garrett Cole at plus 425. He is my pick to win the American League Cy Young. When you look at the rest of the race, I think there's really only 2 picks that I would touch. And it's the 2 guys at the top in Cole and Bieber. Bieber is just coming off an injury, but when he's on 2020, we saw what it looks like. It looks like a Cy Young winner, but that was in a COVID-shortened season. Last year, we saw injuries hurt him a little bit. And then this year, he looks great in spring training, but I'm just a little bit weary of the injuries. I think there's no question marks when it comes to Garrett Cole looking forward to next year. And when you look at the rest of the pitchers that he's going up against, Bieber seems to be his only competition. I know the odds are low at plus 425. He's the odds-on favorite, but this is one of my favorite bets as Garrett Cole getting called the sticky stuff merchant. He's on a vengeance tour this season, and he's going to be awesome, and he's going to win the American League Cy Young.
It's a pretty thin field in the American League.
Yeah.
Like, the National League is just way, way better. And when we get to strikeouts, you can't immediately budget like 30 more strikeouts for the NL guys and the AL guys, because the NL has the DH now too. Like, it was always a shoo-in that the NL was going to have the strikeout king in Major League Baseball. Having said that, I like Bieber because I think that his stuff is a little bit more conducive to carving through and limiting damage. Like Cole, we see it all the time, right? The guy gets swings and misses all the time, but when people do get bat on ball against Garrett Cole, it's in the air and sometimes it goes far. With Bieber, I think his stuff limits the serious damage. I think if Bieber throws a whole year, he not only has more innings than Cole, but also has a way better ERA. And by way better, I actually mean like 0.3 of a run, 0.4 of a run. So I think if I'm going to pick one of these guys with short odds, it's going to be Bieber over Cole.
Don't hate that.
It's tough. There's not really that value. Like there's good pitchers with good value, but I can't talk myself into a scenario where somebody like Tarek Skubal makes the leap. I think Skubal is going to have a big year, and I think that the curveball is really helping him. I think he's become a more complete pitcher, but he's not making a Cy Young leap, right? This
for the record, in the Cy Young episode, we brought up Tarek Skubal. Want that to be
there. We go.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
My point exactly. Like that's how thin the field is. You guys are talking about Tarek Skubal in a Cy Young episode. Guy had a 4.3 ERA last year and gives up nukes. I think he's going to be really good. But that's just my point. I do. If we're going to go value play, because I agree with everything Peter said on Cole, and if I had to put money on somebody, I'd take Cole. If I'm going value play, I think Sonny Gray might feel a little bit revitalized. 30-1 odds on Sonny Gray, who goes from one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks to, I think, a top third pitcher-friendly ballpark. He's their ace. I know he's not their opening day starter, but he is their ace. And I think that there's an attitude and a moxie that comes with that. I don't think he's going to win the Cy Young, but at 30-1, there's not that many other guys there that I could talk myself into. Gray's swing and miss numbers are as good as they've ever been in his career. He got burned by the long ball. I think that's naturally going to improve by getting out of Cincinnati. So yes, I do like Cole, and there's a reason why he's plus 425. But my long shot guy is Sonny Gray at 30-1.
But just for official, your pick is Garrett Cole.
Yes,
because the thing is, I was even going to have value pick. I don't even have one, because I don't want to put any money on anybody besides Cole or Bieber. And I totally understand the Bieber point. He could win it. And at plus 700, he has even better value than Garrett Cole is. But beyond that, like, I love Dylan Cease, but he has like top 5 odds. I like Frankie Montes. He's not going to win it. Like there's these guys that are just like, unless a Robbie Ray comes out of nowhere, and egg on our face if another Robbie Ray type wins. For example, Robbie Ray's plus 900. Like, he should just not have very similar odds to Shane Bieber. I'm sorry. I think Robbie Ray is a great pitcher, and he's going to be great for the Mariners next year. I don't see a second consecutive Cy Young for Robbie Ray.
Great pitcher?
I do. I think he is
a good pitcher, bro.
I think he's
your Robbie Ray. Your Robbie Ray hatred is bizarre.
Robbie Ray, when you look at the rest of the American League, like he's a top 5, top 10 pitcher in the American League. He has to be. And then you even look at the Blue Jays situation, because the Blue Jays have a lot of interesting guys in Barrios and Manoah and Gosman. But then again, they're also going to be fighting for Cy Young votes between each other. It has to be Cole or Bieber. I don't want to even give out a value pick, because I don't want anyone to put money on something that I genuinely don't believe is going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Another
you can't
guy
even
I
talk
just want
yourself
to
into
shout
this
out
scenario.
real quick. Another guy I just want to shout out real quick at plus 2,500 is Nathan Eovaldi. That's the one name a teensy bit farther down the list that I think is a fine number, but it's not good. Like, the value isn't good, but Eovaldi finished 4th in Cy Young voting last year. He led the league in FIP. He, especially with Chris Sale out with this rib cage stress fracture going on, he's kind of a lone wolf in the Red Sox rotation right now. We'll see what Houck does, but I mean, Eovaldi is going to be the frontline guy for a long time for the Red Sox. And listen, if he's good and the Red Sox are competing, I could absolutely see him getting votes.
I like that value pick.
Totally. The only thing that worries me, and it goes in with the Cole point too, and I think this is one of the reasons why. The only reason why I'm not going with Bieber is I don't want to lose out, and I know you can't predict injuries, but I don't want to lose out on an opportunity to win a futures bet because of an injury. Shoulders make me nervous. I don't think Bieber is going to miss large parts of the season, but they're going to be careful. He might skip some starts. If he has a little twinge, they're shutting him down. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to worry about that. And I think Cole has shown that he can be a workhorse at this point. And I will say, though, the AL East is a little scary. Those lineups are insane. Even the Orioles can swing it. There's no day off in the AL East. But yeah, I agree. You got to go Cole. That's a blue chip stock right there.
But also in the Central, the offense isn't too bad either. You know, the Twins, added Correa, the Tigers, and their great new prospects, and they added Javier Baez, and like the White Sox are of course going to rake, and the Royals with Witt coming in and a bounce back from Whit Merrifield, still got Salvi. Like that division, the pitching is certainly not there, but the offense is. So it's not he's not pitching against nobody's Shane Bieber.
See, no. I see that division and I say you accumulate strikeouts in that division.
Yeah, that's
looking at a guy like Javi Baez or like that entire Twins order, like you just rack up the Ks.
That's a good point.
They can ambush you though. That Royals team, even they can ambush you with some home runs very quickly. But yeah, I think the AL is a pretty easier landscape. I'm interested to see the NL.
NL is loaded. You've got 3 guys under 1,000. Max Scherzer plus 600 is the front runner. Corbin Burns plus 800 is the reigning Cy Young winner. Walker Buehler is plus 900. And then you've got DeGrom, who's out for a month at plus 1,000. Zach Wheeler at plus 1,000. And the list goes on. Brandon Woodruff just behind at plus 1,100. I think Walker Buehler is borderline best pitcher on the planet. And I think if I'm putting money down here, it's Buehler.
I think Peter agrees.
Do you?
So totally agree. But continue.
No, that's just my thought. Like this guy was 1 of 4 to reach 200 innings last year. He's a strikeout machine when on. He can locate 5 pitches when on. He's going to be the ace for the best team. We're done with the Kershaw as the ace charade. He's going to be the 3 because Urias is going to be the 2 and Buehler's the opening day starter. I mean, I think if Walker Buehler like does what I think he can do, that's north of 200 innings. That's a sub-3 ERA, and that's leading Major League Baseball in strikeouts, which is runaway, unanimous Cy Young.
I really want to bet on Corbin Burns at plus 800, but I will be betting on Walker Buehler at plus 900. I think Walker Buehler will establish himself as arguably the best pitcher in the National League next year, arguably the best pitcher in baseball. You know what I see when I watch Walker Buehler? I see a young prime Verlander. That's what I see. He's got the fastball like Verlander. He's got the big hook like Verlander. He's got the tight pants like Verlander. Everything about him screams best pitcher in baseball. He's got the confidence. He just stares you down. 98 at the top of the zone. Everything about Walker Buehler screams 2022 Cy Young. And at plus 900, I freaking love it. Another pick. We're not going to talk about wins leaders, but Walker Buehler, I talked about this on Not Gambling Advice when we went a bit more in depth than all the other leaders. Walker Buehler to lead the league in wins.
Yeah.
Plus 750. I'm pairing that along with the Walker Buehler. Hard to predict wins, but it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. If I'm going to predict wins, it's going to be him. I love Walker Buehler at plus 900.
Not parlay advice?
Not parlay. I'm not parlaying them. I don't parlay anything ever.
If you were betting. And
if I was betting.
The crazy thing with Buehler is what I look at is he's going to pitch 6-7 innings almost every time out there. He's one of the few that are left. And if you have 6 or 7 at bats of your Dodgers lineup getting up there, you figure they're going to break through for a handful of runs, one of those innings. And, you know, he only needs a couple runs. I will say though, don't sleep on Julio Urias. And that's my pick at 25-1, because I don't think he's that far off from Walker Buehler. I really don't. If we talk about age, Urias is younger, 25 years old. I know experience is he's been around for a while now, but he's finally healthy. Last year was his first full season, actually, at that being able to throw more than 100 innings. He threw 185, 2.96 ERA, career low walk rate. Strikeout rate was actually higher than Walker Buehler's, and the FIP was better. I think he could easily be better than, there we go. And Pete's got his LA Dodgers hat, because that's what this is. We're talking at Cy Young. It's going to be a Dodger most likely. Julio Urias at 25-1 is my pick. I'll take more strikeouts, less walks, and pretty matching peripherals to Walker Buehler.
Yeah, each award we do, Peter's going to add a hat.
Julio Urias is my value pick as well at plus 2,500. He's also another pick to lead the league in wins. I'm telling both of them. One of them's going to win one of those things. And at plus 1,000, plus 750, all these, you're going to hit one of them. I'm fairly sure of it. I'm all over it.
Peter was shitting on me for calling Julio Urias a 20-game winner last year, and now here he is betting on leading the league in wins.
No, it wasn't shitting on you. It was just funny that that's always the lead up. Julio Urias, the 20-game winner. I'm like, that's not the thing that matters as much. It's funnier, but it's not the thing that matters.
won
But
20
he's
games.
just such a good pitch. He did win 20 games. It's awesome when you win 20 games.
He just Jack just so badly wants to be able to say that. Right?
Yeah.
Like, because you can't say 20-game winner anymore, right? It's really almost impossible. We might be able to say it again.
You'll get run off by the 14-year-olds on TikTok. They
20-game winner, the league leader in XFIP.
Yeah. This year's leader in XFIP. Yeah. You don't say 20-game leader anymore as an intro, but Urias is my long shot. And then Logan Webb, even though that's still pretty good value, that's my straightforward bet. I think I don't want to take two Dodgers, first of all. But second of all, Logan Webb, we know how good he was last year. You don't need me to talk about how special he can be, but I think he's going to take that, step now. I think he showed it in the postseason, going toe to toe with every top pitcher that he had to face in every lineup that he had to face through the postseason. He was magnificent. And I think he knows he's an ace now. And I think he's going to really come out tossing this year. That rotation, it's his. He leads that rotation now. It wasn't him and Kevin Gausman before. I know they got Rodon, but Logan Webb is the guy, and I think he's going to be that guy for them for a very long time, and I think he's going to really be in the consideration this year. So those are my two picks.
So, Aram, I think you listened to Not Gambling Advice because that was one of Colby's picks, and we were all on the Urias Bueller Webb trade. I love Webb at plus 60. My only thing is I'm just tailing these Dodgers, but if you put a gun to my head and say pick another, it's Logan Webb. So great pick.
Love it.
So I've got two guys that I do want to shout out that just have had crazy hot springs and look absolutely fantastic when I watch them. The odds aren't that good. Like Carlos Rodon, I was expecting the odds to be a lot higher. Plus 2,200. I was expecting him to be in like the plus 3,000 range
or higher.
Is that higher?
Yeah, higher. Yeah.
Okay, we talked about it, right? Like lower is less money if you win. Yes. Higher is more money if you win. Yes. Yeah, I would have expected Rodon's odds to be a bit higher than plus 2,200, but I mean, shit's jumping. Like we just don't know if he's done by August. I have been so impressed by Joe Musgrove in the spring.
Yeah,
this guy's fastball is absolutely humming.
Yep,
it's
and
ridiculous.
He's slated to start opening day for a reason over Snell, over Darvish, because he is the ace of that team. He's electric. He's a great pick to win it. He really is. 2,500 plus 2,500 for Joe Musgrove. All right, let's get to Aram stomping grounds here. AL Rookie of the Year. Bobby Witt is the odds-on favorite. Absolutely. Bobby Witt plus 310. Spencer Torkelson, who's going to break camp with the Tigers, plus 450. And then you got Adley Rutschman, who's missing a couple weeks with a tricep issue, at plus 600. Julio Rodriguez at plus 600 as well. And then you get guys north of 1,000. Aram, who you like?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of players that get me like excited, and there's a few. I want to gas up a few different guys. If Josh Lowe wasn't blocked, by the way, but that would be my go-to. I would love to be gassing up Josh Lowe plus 9,000, but he's blocked. I thought the Rays would clear the way for him. They have not. You look at the top end, the four guys: Bobby Witt, Spencer Torkelson, Adley Rutschman, Julio Rodriguez. I think that there's going to be a heavy gravitation towards Adley Rutschman because of what he's doing behind the dish as a switch hitter. And here's the thing with Adley. I think he has an easier path to win this award. So my short odds are Adley. That's my pick because he doesn't need to hit as much as a Julio Rodriguez, who might be DHing, playing corner outfield. Torkelson's playing first. Bobby Witt's going to, I think, have a lot to try to keep up with in terms of playing third, playing shortstop, and hitting at a high level. Adley could hit 260 with 20 bombs and play great defense, and he'll still get way more votes. Adley is my short pick there. I love him at plus 600. I still think that's really favorable odds. And then I'm really torn between Stephen Kwan at plus 6,500 to win it over with the Cleveland Guardians, or Matt Brash at plus 4,500. Ultimately, I'm going to go with Matt Brash because he secured a spot in the rotation. I've been just a fan of his as a prospect for a long time. His command seems to finally have really settled in here. He had an outing where he threw 22 pitches, 22 freaking strikes. The slider, as we know, is otherworldly. We've seen big league vets taking embarrassing swings at that pitch, and now he's showing feel for the fastball, locating east-west. I think Matt Brash is going to dominate from the jump, and I love that pick at plus 4,500. So I'm not even giving my boy Jeremy Pena a vote because his odds got way too short. So those are my two picks there, Adley and Matt Brash.
I love the Brash pick. I think that's perfect. And you were on Brash a year ago. Now pitching ninjas on Matt Brash during the spring.
I know, it is crazy to see.
Rob Friedman cannot stop tweeting out Matt Brash videos. Like there is honestly a chance that he Ks 8 guys in his MLB debut.
I think he
or
will.
not to. Got to give credit to Aram on that one. He's been on Matt Brash since before Matt Brash was on Matt Brash. My only
the Niagara Purple Eagle.
Literally, he was like in the delivery room with his parents, being like, "God, look at that arm!
This
look at
is
that
the one.
Slider.
This guy's ready to go.
This is the guy.
He's
Ready to go." Okay, my only thing is with the Adley pick, tricep thing. Are you not concerned to start the season? He might be a little bit injured. That was my only thing, because I also wanted to go with Adley, but I was like, because in not gambling advice, when we recorded our picks a little bit earlier, I went with Riley Green, which I love Riley Green, but again, just learning he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. So I don't want to bet on these rookies who are starting the year hurt. That's my only thing with Adley, but he could totally still do it. That's how amazing he is.
Totally. I am definitely a little bit worried. Triceps not as concerning, but if it could nag him, you never know. So definitely wary of it.
I think Bobby Witt's so good. It's hard for me to see somebody not named Bobby Witt winning this.
Plus 310.
Yeah, it's not worth
he's not
it.
even going to start opening day on the Royals. At least we don't think so yet.
Have they
starting opening day?
Have they announced it yet?
He's going to break camp with him. He's going to be on the opening day roster. I mean, It would be so weird if Bobby Witt wasn't in the starting lineup on opening day, but he's on the roster.
Yeah.
Here's my thing.
Bench bat.
Here's my thing with the top 4 dudes. Torkelson, Adley, and Julio are all plus hit tool guys. Bobby Witt at this point just isn't quite a plus hit tool guy yet. I think he's going to be there, but they're swing and miss. They're swing and miss, and I could see it being a little bit of a shaky start for him.
Torque might hit 35 this year.
And that's exactly why Spencer Torkelson is my pick to win AL Rookie of the Year. He has if you look at the top 4, Bobby Witt, like you said, Aram, plus hit tool, not there yet. Plus, I don't know if he's going to start the season with the Royals. Adley Rutschman, tricep thing. Julio Rodriguez most likely will not start with the big league team. So who's left? Spencer Torkelson, who's already raking.
Yeah.
In spring training. I think he's the best bat that we're going to see out of a rookie this year. I know you point to first base, but when he dwarfs everybody else's numbers, when he's the only 30 to 35 home run guy and he's driving in 90 runs and he's hitting 270, he's already there, he's already top 10 first baseman, then we're just going to be like, all right, he just should win it himself. Plus 450, he doesn't even have the best odds to do it either. I love the Riley Green pick. I think if Riley Green was healthy, I would still go with him because I think he has not almost as good of a bat because there's more swing and miss there, but he's still a great bat and he's a phenomenal defender in the outfield. I thought the WAR numbers would most likely favor Green. Both of them slated to start on the Tigers. Exciting team, but Miguel Cabrera just handed off the
symbolic glove.
The symbolic glove to Spencer Torkelson, AL Rookie of the Year. Spencer Torkelson of the Tigers plus 450, lock it in.
You had 3 grown men crying about that, apparently, in AJ Hinch's office. You had Hinch
4.
crying, you had Miggy crying, you had Torque crying. Who else was crying?
4. Me.
Oh, okay. Would you consider yourself a grown man?
We're like almost there. We're like almost there.
Close.
Once I'm able to rent a car, which is incredible that it's still 25 to rent a car, but it's 18 to vote and go to war, then I'm a man. But until I'm able to rent a car, I'm not a man.
And you know what? I will say
I'm grown though. I'm 6'4". I'm grown. Just not a man.
Are you 6'4"?
6'4", baby. In
Congrats
shoes.
on the height.
6'3" without shoes.
In Tim's or I'm 6'3" in Tim's.
What are you? 5'11"?
I'm 5'7" in Tim's.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I'll say too, don't underestimate the fact. I mean, Torkelson, like there's a little bit of swing and miss, but he's a power and hit guy. Very similar to Miggy. Obviously, Miggy's more pure of a hitter, but that you can't compare anybody to Miggy other than Vladdy. But don't underestimate having Miguel Cabrera in your ear through your entire rookie season as maybe one of the few guys that we've seen that is as gifted at the plate as Miguel Cabrera in a very long time. So I'm totally in on that narrative too. I think Miggy's going to be a big help, and I'm excited about that team. I think that's a great pick also.
Because remember, this
Rookie of the Year
narrative. This whole thing is narrative based too.
It's
not all about who we think will have the best WRC plus.
There's the
narrative
Oscars
to this thing. It literally is.
Yeah. NL Rookie of the Year. You've got a share of the favorite.
I didn't get my value pick. Just
who's
real
your value
quick.
pick?
My value pick, I love the Stephen Kwan, but I also have Kevin Smith at plus 7,500 for the A's. He's not that good, but he's going to have a ton of run.
He's going to play the whole season.
He's going to play the whole season, and he is decent. And at plus 7,500, he's one of the few rookies who I know they're going to run him out every day, no matter if he sucks or not. So I'm going to sprinkle. I'm throwing $10 to win $750.
I think that's a great pick. He's fast too. He's going to steal some bases. He's going to hit for power. Yeah, I like that pick.
But the only problem is he's not that good. Like he's all right, but he's nowhere near Torkelson or even Stephen Kwan, who I also have at plus 6,500.
So do we like Arias at plus 7,500 too?
Gabriel Arias?
Yeah.
He
looks good.
Is he going to get run?
He might be blocked.
That's the problem. Is he going to get run? And that's the big challenge with this award is, do they get run? And
Kevin Smith is going to get run.
I think he will. Yeah, they're going to run him into the ground.
Marathon.
They're going to run him into the ground.
He's going to play all 162.
He's going to play every position too, I think. I like Arias at plus 7,500, but he's got to get called up. And we don't know when that's going to happen. So it's a little risky.
O'Neal Cruz has to get called up. If you look at NL Rookie of the Year, O'Neal Cruz just got optioned to AAA Indianapolis.
Which you're pumped about selfishly.
Selfishly, I'm ecstatic about. I get to watch O'Neal Cruz. He and Seiya Suzuki are both plus 380. O'Neal Cruz is in AAA. Seiya Suzuki, there was never an opportunity that he was going to be in South Bend. Like, he is a Chicago Cub as soon as you come over. Suzuki should be like so far ahead of the rest of the field. CJ Abrams is plus 600, Joey Bart plus 900, and then you get into the 1,000 range. Is it Seiya Suzuki's to lose?
You said it yourself, Jack. Seiya Suzuki's odds should be way better, and they aren't. I'm jumping on plus 380 right now. Seiya Suzuki is my pick. We talk about run. He's going to get so much run with the Cubs. We talk about an already professional hitter. He's being compared. I'm comparing him to Hideki Matsui because of the numbers, and I've already written all these articles, and I've been on Seiya Suzuki now for months. And if I'm wrong, egg on my face, because I just believe in him. I believe in the swing, and I believe in his profile as a player. Like, if he's 270 with 25 jacks and 80 to 90 RBIs, and he's putting up a 115-ish WRC plus, when you look at the rest of the field, some guys are more talented, but just won't get as much run. And there's just when he's being compared to O'Neal Cruz, who's not even starting this year in the big leagues at plus 380, his odds are going to go down. Like, it's going to be a plus 300 line. Then the season's going to keep going underway. Then it's going to be plus 200. Then at some point he will be a minus favorite. This is the best value you're going to get Seiya Suzuki on. I'm jumping on right now. My value pick, Mackenzie Gore plus 4,500. I don't actually love it, but what we saw in spring training, it's worthy of a sprinkle, because when he's right, he's the best pitching prospect, I think, in the sport, or at least close to it, with Grayson and Shane Baz. That's a big if, but if he gets enough run with the Padres this year and he looks like the Mackenzie Gore we all imagine he could be, I think plus 4,500 is good enough value to justify a sprinkle.
Yeah, it's what I really love is with the Suzuki pick is rookie years are always a freaking roller coaster because they're rookies. Seiya Suzuki's already played at a AA level for several years now, and I think he will be able to survive the roller coaster that is a rookie season. I'm gonna stay off the beaten path though, and stay away from Seiya there. I'm gonna wait on the O'Neal Cruz bet, and then I'm gonna bet him. If we're talking about like when it's because I think O'Neal's odds are going to get better, obviously, once he's not in the big leagues and the big league season starts. O'Neal Cruz, to me, is going to make up for lost time. I think we have not seen a prospect with this much power since Giancarlo Stanton in terms of exit velos. And I don't even think Stanton was putting up the exit. We didn't have StatCast then, but he wasn't putting up the exit velos. I don't think that O'Neal Cruz is. He had a home run 120 miles an hour last year. I mean, this guy has different kind of pop, and the hit tool is already progressed a ton. If his odds improve, I'm going all in on Cruz. If it gets to the plus 450 range, I'm taking it, because I think he's going to be incredible once he gets called up.
Like, Aram, just to put those exit velos into perspective for a second, like you said, he had a 120 mile an hour home run. That may not immediately jump off the page when you hear it, but that would have been second last year out of everybody. Yes. Giancarlo was 122. Machado was 119.6. That would have been second. And how old is he? 21?
22 now, 22. and he's 6'7" and just still like getting more physical. So that's my shorter pick. And then honestly, I don't like the value plays as much in the National League. I'm not as much of a fan of some of these. I love Bryson Stott, and it's not the best value in the world, but that's probably my quote unquote value play, because I think Stott can, as I've mentioned on the podcast before, I've been really harping on him being the everyday shortstop for them. He might end up playing third depending with what they do with Bohm, but he's going to sprinkle in stolen bases. He's going to sprinkle in some power. He's going to hit for a high average. He's going to play good defense on a really good team. And I think Stott could be that Jonathan India type this coming season for the Phillies and have a very similar type of production. And I honestly think Stott has as good of a chance to win it as anybody. At plus 1,000, I'm jumping on it.
Would you say your strategy is more you're waiting on O'Neal Cruz, maybe a sprinkle on Bryson Stott now, but then you're really just waiting for O'Neal Cruz's odds to get better? And that's like the strategy of how you're playing this Rookie of the Year, because a lot of people are listening for you, man. You know, people 100%. Are going to be tailing this, and we need to lock down the strategy for the people.
100%. Like, let's say O'Neal Cruz doesn't exist. Bryson Stott is my bet. Hunter Green, I'm very worried about keeping the ball in the yard. I don't think he's big league ready. I'm very happy that I'm happy to see him called up, because it's fine. He can learn up there, but he's not winning Rookie of the Year. I really don't think so. Sixto Sanchez won't pitch this year, and he's got like the 5th best odds. So Stott to me would be my pick no matter what. We don't know what Abrams, how he's going to fit in. And then, we talk about Suzuki and we eliminated Cruz in this imaginary scenario. So yeah, I'm waiting for Cruz's odds to get better, and I feel very good about putting money on Bryson Stott.
2 names. Nick Lodolo at plus 4,000. Lodolo is going to start the first week of the season with Cincinnati. With Luis Castillo, with Castillo and Mike Minor being on the IL, Lodolo's going to get a start the first time through the rotation. And if Lodolo's as good as we think he is, which is better than Hunter Green, then he'll stick around because he's good enough. And he's one of the 5 best starting pitchers for the Cincinnati Reds. So Lodolo plus 4,000 are good odds. I think Max Meyer looks unhittable, Aram. Plus 5,000. I don't know if he's going to get up. I don't know if he's going to crack that rotation. Yeah, but like, if Meyer comes up and doesn't allow a hit in his first 4 outings, like, you got to give him extended outings.
That's a good point. I just don't know how he's going to get run.
So it's so ridiculous, dude. I wonder how long it'll take before he gets up. I've watched him now in 3 different starts, like full 5-inning starts on the backfields, and he's up to 96, 97, and his slider is a joke.
He looks unbelievable. With what I've been able to watch from Max Meyer, he looks unhittable.
Yeah, so I like that, because the second, God forbid, an injury happens, which, unfortunately they're inevitable, especially on the pitching side, he's the first guy that's going to get called up. So I think that's not a bad plus 5,000 for a guy that is going to get strikeouts at the big league level right away. I can't promise he's going to keep the ball in the yard, but we know he's going to rack up Ks and be probably further along than Hunter Green. At plus 5,000, I'm totally in on that pick.
And that's double the odds of Edward Cabrera.
Yes.
I really like the Lodolo pick, Jack, because think about it. Who's a better pitcher, Hunter Green or Nick Lodolo? I think all 3 of us are in agreement that we would prefer Nick Lodolo. Whose stuff is more conducive to getting outs, at least initially, in Great American Ballpark? You have the fly ball pitcher versus the ground ball pitcher. Nick Lodolo wins out there. My only thing is, will Nick Lodolo be in the starting 5 opening day like Hunter Green will?
Yes.
And you say yes.
Yes, that's my understanding. That's Bobby Nightingale, the Cincinnati Enquirer. That's Bob's son. Yes, he says yes. He says Lodolo will either start game 5 or game 6. Malley's the opening day guy. Apparently, Hunter Green goes game 4, which is April 10th. Is that Sunday? But Green will go game 4. My understanding from reading a couple of the Reds beat writers is Lodolo goes 5 or 6.
I like
that. You guys smell that?
Smell value.
It smells like Cincinnati Reds broken odds.
Oh.
At 40-1 again.
40-1.
40-1 again. Jonathan India last year. Nick Lodolo this year. I'm not
He's
saying
off reading my Reds beat writers.
I'm sprinkling on Nick Lodolo. You told me he's starting in the rotation. I am sprinkling on Nick Lodolo. Put it down now. I still think Seiya Suzuki's going to win. But
yeah,
if you gave me another pick, I'm throwing Mackenzie Gore out the window and I'm going to go with Nick Lodolo.
Everybody thought Brian Hayes was going to win it last year.
That's a good point.
Right?
But then again, Brian Hayes didn't come over from the MPB and was like an MVP there.
No,
That's more O'Neal Cruz.
Seiya has 2 hits in spring training, and they both are majestic bombs.
Literally, it's awesome. Or he's striking out. It's gonna be an interesting season for Seiya.
All right, we want to talk home run leaders.
Yes, I have it already on lock.
Vladdy is the only one with odds under 1,000. He's at plus 700. Pete Alonso plus 1,000. Aaron Judge plus 1,200. List goes on. Pete, what you like?
I would do myself a disservice if I didn't go along with what I've been saying for the past 3-4 months, is that Pete Alonso is going to hit the most home runs in Major League Baseball next year. He hit 53 in 2019, like 53 home runs. And he was on pace for 45 home runs in 2020, and he hit 37 last year with a better approach. I think he starts to revert back to more power, especially in that lineup with plenty of approach guys now that you have Canna and Marte and Lindor and McNeil. They need his power. He's going to get it, and he's going to hit 50 plus. That's my pick at plus 1,100. My value pick, plus 2,500 for Ronald Acuna Jr. Now, this is dependent on the knee, but I don't think people understand what a power hitter Ronald Acuna Jr. is. He hit 41 home runs in 156 games in 2019. He hit 14 in 46 games in 2020, which if averaged out over 162, is 49 home runs. He had 24 home runs in 82 games before going down with that ACL tear last year. That would have averaged out to 47 home runs. Like, he is a 45 home run hitter when healthy, and you get it at plus 2,500. That's my value pick there. Deep cut, Nelson Cruz at plus 6,000, because it's Nelson Cruz. And like, plus 6,000 is too much.
That's a lot. Aram, what jumps out to you?
I like Olsen. I really like Olsen at plus 1,400. Great lineup. Better park. And that's the big thing. And he continues to hit the ball in the air and more consistently. The more we see him, he seems to be on an upward trajectory. You put him in a better ballpark, I think it's going to be pretty natural that we're going to see more home runs there. And he already was really ridiculous last year with 39 pumps. I think he's going to be in the 40 to 45 conversation, which puts you right there. You're give or take a couple. You're winning you're bringing home the title for most home runs. So at those odds, I really like it at plus 1,400. At the value play, Kyle Schwarber. I mean, Kyle Schwarber doesn't get hurt last year. There's a good chance he leads the league in home runs with the ridiculous pace he was on. I don't think we haven't seen anything like that with the home run streak that he went on. Now you have a short porch and right. Some of the similar reasons why I like Harper in terms of the lineup being absolutely loaded, but the short porch and right with Schwarber, I love it. I could see Schwarber hitting 40 plus this year too. And at plus 3,500, I'm so in on that.
Yeah. Yordan Alvarez plus 1,500. I mean, that guy only has to worry about hitting.
Yeah,
another guy only has to worry about hitting. How about Franmil Reyes at plus 2,000? This guy is a massive human being that hits the ball harder than many that I've ever seen.
So
it's incredible.
That's why Ronald Acuna Jr. at plus 2,500 is so much better, in my opinion. Think about this. Who do you like if you put him like on a plate, like who are you choosing, Acuna or Franmil to hit more home runs? Like you tend towards Acuna, unless
I've got Acuna at 3,500.
Maybe he's plus 3,500. I'll take that too. I had him at plus 2,500.
Yeah, he's at 3,500 for us.
Yeah,
plus 3,500. Give that to me as well.
Yeah.
What do you think of Eloy Jimenez at plus 3,000?
I like that.
Like you're giving me Ronald Acuna Jr. at plus 3,500 or Eloy at plus 3,000?
I think I'm going with Eloy.
Really?
Yeah. If Eloy is healthy, I mean, like I've just seen him put consistently hard contact on baseballs. Like it feels like every game there's a ball that goes to the warning track or beyond. He was the hot pick to hit 50 bombs last year, and then he got hurt the last day of spring training because he can't play the field. I say screw it. Like you can be in left, just be a black hole in left. Like don't catch anything. Just hit 50 bombs and we're good, Eloy.
It's Ronald Acuna Jr.
Yeah, but it's Eloy Jimenez, dude. Light tower power.
But he's never put up home run totals that Acuna has already been putting up. And it's Ronald Acuna Jr. at plus 3,500. I loved it at plus 2,500. I love it even more at plus 3,500.
Aram, where do you side on that?
3,500 for freaking Ronald Acuna Jr. is nuts. I like the Eloy. I think Eloy is going to explode this year. I do. But the odds, if I'm getting Ronald Acuna at 3,500, he looks good, man. Like he's seen, like I already like saw some clips of him hitting. He looks ready to go. I like the Eloy pick, but if we're talking odds, I do side 3,500 Ronald Acuna there.
Okay, fair. Shall we go to strikeout leaders?
We shall.
Garrett Cole plus 450 is the front runner. Jacob deGrom is still plus 500 for some reason, although he had like 92 Ks or something,
Yeah.
What did he do last year?
DeGrom
was something stupid.
Yeah, it was something dumb.
But it was Garrett Cole plus 450, DeGrom plus 500, Scherzer plus 650, Robbie Ray plus 900, and then you get to Corbin Burns at 1,100 and down.
So he only had 146 Ks in 92 innings.
Only, yeah.
So that's why if he misses a month, he's still probably
the
odds are about right. The odds are about fair.
Absolutely. Cole got really close to 300 punchies though when he was in Houston in 2019. Is that right?
Yeah. He should have won the Cy Young, I think, in 2019.
Yeah. And he should have won it in 2021.
He should have won 2021, whatever. My pick for AL strikeout, or not AL, just overall strikeout leader, Corbin Burns at plus 1,100. For that value, he had the highest K per 9 last year, one of the highest strikeout rates. He finished 5th in Ks while only throwing 167 innings. I don't think that he's going to throw 200, but I think between 180 to 190 is perfectly reasonable to assume from one of the best strikeout artists in the league. He was 5th while only throwing 167. If you give me close to 200 innings, I think he easily leads all of baseball in strikeouts, and he's not even top 3, 4 in odds. Corbin Burns at plus 1,100. I already bet it.
I like it. So to answer your question, Jack, it was 324 Ks for Garrett Cole in 2019 with the Astros.
So he blew by it.
Absolutely insane. Looking at this is one of those where I could probably talk myself into a lot of different guys, honestly.
That's a fact.
But Dylan Cease at plus 1,500, I think Dylan Cease, if the command just gets to where it needs to be, and it's getting better. He's showing us incremental improvement. He could strike out 15 in an outing. Like we've seen the swing and miss stuff that Cease has. So 15-1 odds on Dylan Cease. I'll take that every single day of the week. And then I'm with you on Corbin Burns at 11-1 odds. I mean, his innings were short last year in terms of his body of work. He did not get nearly as much as everybody else. The strikeouts were crazy. I think Burns is going to continue to get better, and he's not even the favorite. Give me Burns at 11-1 odds. Those are my 2 picks.
Aram, are you listening? I think Aram's the most avid listener of not gambling advice, because my next value pick was also going to be Dylan Cease, and I gave that one out too. I love Dylan Cease at plus 1,500 as well. I think he has just as much potential as Corbin Burns does. He was the 2nd highest in K per 9, one of the tops in K percentage as well. And just another guy, as he gets stretched out more, will just strike out more guys. He finished 7th in strikeouts last year. 7th, and he wasn't stretched out.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah. No, Cease was, I think he was 4th in all of baseball in Ks per 9. Like that's why we made sure.
Second in baseball in Ks per 9.
Second in baseball.
Second.
Cease? Damn, man.
Yeah.
When we talked to Michael Fisher, when we talked to Michael Fisher at Codify, and we just asked him like, how good can Dylan Cease be? And he just started laughing. Like that gave me all the
I needed. He's like, you don't even know how good Dylan Cease can be, basically, was the reaction that I got from him. You know, and it's funny that that's the pick you gave out, Peter, because I just look at Cease and I'm like, this guy is on the cusp. Like he's right there.
Screams strikeout leader. Yeah. Just like Walker Buehler screams NL Cy Young, Dylan Cease screams strikeout leader to me. I think it's more of a chance that he leads the AL. I do think Corbin Burns is going to lead everybody. I really do.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Do you think Buehler at plus 1,800 might be kind of worth it?
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be my 3rd pick.
Because he's going to throw 220 innings.
Right.
Like, he's going to throw so many innings that he might not be the best in K percentage.
Yeah,
but he might just compile.
It's just an accumulation thing. Yeah. Another guy that I want to shout out here is Jose Barrios at plus 2,500. If Barrios is on, I know that's a hard division to do it in, but Tampa Bay strikes out a lot. The Yankees, Peter, how often do they strike out?
All the fucking time.
The Red Sox have Bobby Dalbec.
Yeah. So like that's 10
And
and
the
an outing on
Orioles-
its own.
I mean, we love Ryan Mountcastle, but he also strikes out a lot.
A lot of those guys K a shitload.
I mean, I kind of like the draw that Barrios just got.
Thoughts on this? I like Gosman better than Brios next year for Ks.
Ooh.
I don't hate it. Gosman was top 10 last year in the league in strikeouts. I just don't think Gosman does what he did again.
I don't think he does amazing, but I still think he's going to be really good. Like, I still think he's 3.3 to 3.4 ERA. That splitter, can't prepare for that splitter. It's disgusting, that splitter that he throws. I also have another really, really deep cut. Yu Darvish at plus 4,500. He's a strikeout artist. Plus 4,500 seems a little bit disrespectful for Yu Darvish. But to be honest, I don't even really want to bet on that. I just saw that line and I was like, oh, that's possible. But I'm not actually betting on it. So I just want to throw it out there.
Here's a line. Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Wait, what do you guys think of Yu Darvish? Is any shot?
The health worries me a little bit.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think he strikes out guys in droves. I mean, it's crazy.
He just, those odds, he's between guys who just have no freaking shot at doing it. And he does have a shot. So that's why I thought about it.
So stolen bases is that Alberto Mondesi's to lose. If Mondesi plays 100 games, he might steal 80 bags.
Yep.
Mondesi plus 250. Starling Marte, who led the league last year, is plus 350. Whit Merrifield, Mondesi's teammate, plus 550. Acuna plus 600. And then Trey Turner, and the list goes on.
So can I tell you how I'm playing this one? I'm going with Whit Merrifield at plus 550. He finished with 40 in 2021 and finished second. He finished fourth in stolen bases in 2020. The reason why I like him, and when I evaluate the other contenders, he's so durable. All the other favorites have injury history. I just think that he is a lock to finish top 5. So I think, all right, give me at least the safest bet. Mondesi is one of the base stealers when healthy, like that there is, like Billy Hamilton 2.0, but almost better. It's electric. But with that comes injury histories. He's almost too fast for his own hamstrings. Starling Marte, another guy who's just never done 47 before. Now he goes to a Mets lineup. I don't know how much they're going to want him running when you consider all the run producers in that lineup. They're also not a team who primarily steals that many bases anyway. Whit Merrifield just seems like he's going to be one of the best bets to win it. And you gave me plus 550. That's how I'm playing it. And I don't even have a value pick either. It's just Whit Merrifield. It's a small bet at plus 550.
I like Marte. I just watched him swipe third on the Marlins before we started recording. I think Showalter is going to be old school and say, let's freaking run. Let's run. And I think when that offense stalls out, that's how they're going to try to get a run across. I like Marte, but the odds aren't great.
That's my thing.
Miles Straw at 15-1 for me. I really like. Miles Straw finished 5th, tied for 4th actually in stolen bases last year with Cedric Mullins, but had less plate appearances than all of the guys ahead of him besides Starling Marte. He's slated to be the starting center fielder for Cleveland. I think Kwan is going to end up slotting into a corner, and Straw's going to play a ton. And he was 30 for 36 on swipes. Got better offensively as the year went on. That's the big thing. Straw's got to get on base. He got better in that regard. He's been walking more. I think Straw could easily lead, and he has to steal bases. Like, he has to be valuable in other ways because he's not going to be that great of a hitter. I like Straw at 15-1.
It's a great. I think Mondesi is going to do it. But I really enjoy Byron Buxton at plus 3,000.
I know.
Just injury. I don't want to bet on him, but
I don't even want him to
run. Don't do it.
Just don't even like. You could create like the Byron Buxton future parlay where he leads the league in stolen bases and wins the MVP.
Jack, I was looking at his line to lead the league in home runs. Like, that's the type
that's
player he is. He could lead the league in home runs and stolen bases while being the best defender in the sport.
Can he lead the league in wins too?
Okay, is he the most talented player in baseball?
Yes.
Like, let's say that right now. Do you think
Ohtani, I guess, is the most talented?
You got to say Ohtani.
I would say Ohtani's
like
Buxton.
as fast.
I would say
most
Ohtani
talented position players.
I think it's Buxton. Yeah. Also, Luis Robert is.
Who else is in the conversation? Buxton, Acuna, Luis Robert.
Soto is talented.
I think you're going to Ramirez. Jose Ramirez is a switch hitter with power.
Super talented or just such a good baseball player?
No, he's
switch
super
hitter,
talented.
Power, speed.
Yeah.
Tatis too. You got to throw Tatis in that.
you're gonna scoff, but Aaron Judge is incredibly
No,
talented.
I'm not going to scoff. I agree. I think
you're right.
He's with you. I think I'm with you on that one.
Ben
19 home
Rortvedt,
runs in 61 games for Buxton, by the way.
Jose Trevino,
Jose
Yes.
Trevino, Ben Rotvert, however you say it.
Rortvedt.
Rortvedt. Peter just refuses to accept his name. He's like, I'm not accepting that.
I still haven't accepted that IKF is the starting shortstop for the Yankees. I haven't accepted either of them yet.
Ben
Yeah, that
Rutro.
team's good.
Ben Rotvert.
Okay. I think this
That
was a
was so
good one.
much fun.
I think we gave the people what they needed.
We gave you your deep cuts. Nick Lodolo, another Reds guy, going to come back and probably going to win the Rookie of the Year.
Yep.
Garrett Cole's winning the AL Cy Young.
I hope. No, he's going to almost win it again.
He's gonna almost win it. Garrett Cole, if you could bet on second in Cy Young
Yeah, he's
voting,
gonna-
Garrett Cole
I would
be
crib
minus
second.
200.
I would crib second.
I just looked up the line. He's minus 800 to finish second. Bryce Harper, man. Back-to-back MVPs. Aram and I are both on that. And
Yeah,
we're both
that'll
on
be fun. That'll be fun to root for. Well, Peter and I will just be sending each other Harper home runs every
And the
time it
deep
happens.
cut. The deep cut for Kyle Tucker, too, at plus 3,000.
Oh yeah, I'm rooting for Tuck.
I think Bueller plus 900 to win the NL Cy Young's my favorite bet on here.
Is that your
I
favorite
was just
pick?
gonna say, I love it, too. I love
Yeah.
it.
The pick I'm most excited about, I think, is Brash at 45-1.
Yeah.
Because he's in the rotation and he Ks guys up, and I get to just watch those games every fifth day and be like, I have 45-1 on this guy,
Right.
and just see what happens. Like,
Also-
talk about house's money to me.
I'm also kind of in on Eloy to lead the league in homers. I think
That's the one I would feel the least good about.
see.
Yeah,
I
literally.
might clip it and just send you guys the middle finger emoji each time he hits one.
Homer, and
Guys,
not talking about homers. You are a homer.
I know you guys are better at the Rookie of the Year historically. Like I was on Alex Kirilloff last year and he got hurt. I mean, that wasn't that bad of a pick.
No, it wasn't a bad pick.
Just got hurt. But like I love Torque winning in the AL and I love
like it.
Sale winning in the NL. I think those those already hit. I think those won.
Oh, they hit.
I think they won already.
Let the sports book know. Like, hey, just wanted to cash this in.
Yeah, I'll take 50-50 before it even happens.
Opening
gonna
day
happen.
on Thursday. So yeah, the Rookie of the Years have already cashed, but we got a whole week of baseball to come. Tomorrow is grading the offseason and over-under win totals in the American League. Pete, do the whole plug thing. Show us your T-shirt again.
Yeah. Also, next week we're not stopping all of the top 10s. Next week, So this week. This is Monday. Next week, shortstops, outfield, starting pitching, relievers, top 10s are coming at you too. This next 2 weeks is going to be great. Get your Not Gambling Advice T-shirts or your Just Baseball merch, like Arm's wearing his hoodie, in the episode link description as well. Keep up to date. If you love the gambling stuff, check me out on TikTok at Just Baseball Fans and on the website, justbaseball.com, where we'll be putting all of our articles out on there. Gotta go. Also, I gotta shout this out again. Arm fucking talked to Jack Leiter. Like, go listen to that episode. He talked to Jack Leiter of all people. That's a phenomenal episode. I already listened on YouTube, and when I was working out, I listened to it again because it's awesome. Go check that out on Twitter at JustBB Media as well. Instagram at Just Baseball Fans. I think that's it. That's all we got for you.
Yeah, I think that's it. What else you got, Arm? Anything?
No, got nothing on my end. Excited. Minor league opening day, a little bit before MLB opening day. Got a lot to talk about, and it's gonna be fun. We're getting all these predictions out of the way before the season starts, and then, like Peter said, back to the top 10. So loaded content schedule over the next couple of weeks. Just Baseball Show will be humming, and as will every other show we've got rolling right now. And the State of the Division show will be rolling out quite soon. We'll have more on that once you can actually go from this show and go click and subscribe to it. But you'll really like what we have cooking up over there.
100%. Think of Just Baseball's version of the Daily. And with that,
Thank you, everybody.